Hello everyone. This is Carrie with Any Day Blessings, and today I am going to go through a live flip through. I've never done this before, but I'm going to do a live flip through, hopefully giving you all the opportunity to jump on and ask me questions live. Let me know if there are things that you want me to show you. Let me know if you have certain questions. I don't know, I just thought maybe a live flip through might be sort of fun. Hey Natasha, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Feel free to pop in. I know Natasha's used a lot of Memoria Press as well. All I'm going to show you today is just the student materials. I'm going to do a separate video on the lesson plans and the teacher's guide because I feel like that will be a video all of itself. I'm also going to flip through the very first reader so you can see what that's what's all in there, and I'm also going to go through, since it's part of the series, Book E, which is actually for first grade, but I'm going to just do it because it's part of the student portion of the program. So I'm going to start with Book A. This is the kindergarten, in the kindergarten pack from Memoria Press. There is a link in the comments below where you can pick this up. But this is actually done in their kindergarten program, and then they also include these in some of their Simply Classical levels, but they spread them out a little more. In the kindergarten program, you're going to do books A through D, and then book E will be in first grade. So if you are joining, be sure to give me a thumbs up, let me know you're here, and just head to the chat box and ask any questions as I'm flipping through this. I do have the chat up here where I can see, so I will be happy to answer those questions live, or if there's something specific you would like to see, I would be happy to show you. Let me see if I can get this down on the book a little bit more for you. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to flip through and I'm going to show you kind of where things start with the content and where things end with each book, and let you see what your child would do in one lesson in these books. Now, they also have flashcards and a separate book that you could optionally do, but I've opted not to do that. I've opted just to use the First Start Reading books and my own flashcards, because the more I looked at it, the more I thought, you know, flashcards are flashcards. So this would be the very first letter that is taught to your child, just in the M sound. They don't start to blend until the third lesson. So this is lesson 2, just working on the A sound. They have the same format in every lesson. They will draw a picture of something that starts with A and then do the tracing, and then they can color the pictures here. Let me see if I can come up a little bit. I'm losing the top of the page. Let me see. That's pretty good. So this is pretty much throughout whenever they learn a new letter sound. But then once they have a couple new sounds together to put together, they have a page like this, a full page picture, the opportunity to use a word in a sentence. They start off with just their name, but eventually, as they're building other sentences, they will have the opportunity to write other things in a sentence. But once they get a couple letter sounds together, they start the blending, and this is how they do it. They'll have you put the child's finger on the first letter and then slide it over on this line to make the next sound. So the way they teach it in the teacher's guide is and you stop here. So that's kind of what these little lines are. The children aren't meant to trace those lines. Those are finger glide lines. Those aren't writing lines. So if you're looking at this and wondering, that's what those are for. And then, of course, they have some handwriting practice. So you can actually get all of your handwriting, reading, all of that in one program. You don't have to have a separate handwriting program. Now we're back to just a letter sound. So it's this format again, the coloring of the pictures, drawing, and handwriting practice. So those are the two main kinds of lessons you'll find in Book A. I'm going to advance now towards the back here. And as you can see, by lesson 20, so this would be 4 weeks into school, this is what your child is reading. And then back here at the end of the book, it gives you the words that they will master in this first this first lesson or this first book. This is mainly CVC words. It's not a whole bunch of consonant blends as yet. They do have dictation practice in these books. I haven't decided if we're going to do the dictation, and I haven't decided if we're going to do the assessments for book A. The other books I probably will, but I don't know if off the get-go if I'll do that at the beginning. So this is book A. This is how it starts off. Let's take a look at books B, C, and D. Oh, I hear some unhappy campers downstairs, you guys. I hope that they don't make their way up here. So this is the content of book A. If you can't see this, I'll tell you. They start off with the letter sounds that they're forming and then all of the different CVC words that they're forming here. So you see we still haven't gotten into consonant blends yet in book B. Oh, we have unhappy cries downstairs. I hope they're all right down there. We might have to take a little break, you guys, if the cries continue, because I don't know what's going on down there. It sounds like someone's not getting their way, but you never know. We just don't want injury. So book B has the same thing, a letter sound, and then some practice with CVC words. Again, lots of handwriting practice. No need to have a separate handwriting program. You can if you want, but you don't have to. And then you see here we start to get into more reading that you don't really have separate readers at this point. You don't really have a separate reader until further into the course, okay? I think it's mid book B is when you get out the reader, and I'll show that to you. So again, the format stays the same. I'll flip to the end and show you where you are by the end of book B and what you can expect to be reading. And this is lesson 25. I believe this is like the last lesson in book B. So you see it's still CVC words, and these are the kinds of words that your child will have mastered. Now, you see they do word families, okay? The app family, the ag family, the ab family. That is the phonetic approach that Memoria Press uses, okay? So they build word families, and that's how they teach it. It's not like Abeka and the initial blends. I like this style of word family phonics. It made a lot of sense to me as a teacher, and my son did really well with it too. So lots of CVC words, and again, you have the assessments as well. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep motoring through here and show you inside book C. Book C is where you'll start the consonant blends, okay? And it's also, well, actually, you introduce, here, let me show you this. You'll actually get this book during book B, and you'll start reading this. This will take you up to week 20 in your school year, so about the halfway point. So you'll start this at about, I think, week 8 or 10. I'll let you know when I do my walkthrough of the lesson plan. But you start this book about week 8 or 10, and then you use it through week 20. So you'll start the second one of these books a little past the halfway point of your year. So these are the little stories that your child will be reading as you get into book B. And by the end, so about week 20, this is what you can expect your child to read in the reader. Val is the last story, I believe. Okay, so not very long, but you see it's a little more interesting than the Bob books. It has full color pictures, and there are actually 6 books in this series. Memoria Press schedules these 3 in kindergarten, and they give these as optional ones in their Simply Classical program. All right, so then into book C. This is where you get into the consonant blends. You start to get the ST blend, and let's see what else. I'm trying to look at this as I'm looking through the camera here. So still lots of CVC words. I'm not really sure. I've looked through the teacher guide, and I'm not really sure how they handle some of the what we used to do is sight words like then and this and that. I think they actually try and have the child sound those out. We were just taught those as sight words in the other program we used, but it looks like they actually have the child sound those out. So they do have common words in their flashcard set that they will have the children just memorize those words, so that will help form more involved sentences. So you can see where you are in book C. I'll skip to the end so you see where you're at. As you complete book C, this is what they're reading. So this is probably, I would say, about week 26 or so in the school year. And then you have some dictation practice and some word lists, okay? The final book for kindergarten is book D. So that's this one here. And this is the last book that you'll go through in phonics for kindergarten if you follow the Memorial Press schedule. Now, some people just advocate going right into book D over the summer and just keep on trucking, but we'll probably take a break and do book E at the beginning of first grade. So here you get into your long sounds. Long A, long I, long E, long U. You get into the SH, TH, CH, the S blends, R blends, and L blends. So a lot more blending in book D. It's first introduced a little bit in C, but it really looks like the majority of blends is going to be in this book. But you still start off the same basic way with introducing new sounds, practicing writing those new sounds, and then blending with those new sounds. So here are some of the things we will do with the long vowels. So it looks like we're just practicing adding E, that magic E. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead to the blend lessons up here. Team SH, Team TH. Lots of drawing so that the children also get comprehension of what the words mean. So they spell the words, they sound them out, and then they get to draw. So they're putting a meaning, tying a meaning to the new word that they've built. Okay, here they begin to do other activities with the words like sorting them, matching, things like that. Not just mainly tracing and forming them, but starting to do other activities with them. Oh boy, I think a delivery's here. Here, puppy. Here, puppy. Come here. Come here. All right, come on over here. Come on. So this is what I get for doing a live when my husband isn't home to man the troops and the furry child here. Okay, so you see they do more activities in this book than just tracing. They have some varied things here where the children are actually using the words a little bit more, but basically the same setup as the other book. These are the final consonant blends. And I'm going to show you down here, if you could see where it says make up a sentence. So they have, when you get to book D, I didn't pay attention. I don't think I didn't see that in C. Yeah, they haven't done that before. So this is new for book D, where they're making up their own sentences using the words. Let me show you the end, where they end up. Okay, so this is where they will end up in book D. This is the last lesson. Some consonant blends, initial blends. And this is the last lesson in D. So this is where they'll end up for kindergarten. Okay, if you do this throughout the whole school year, that is what a year of phonics in Memorial Press will take you. But I'm going to show you this because, like I said, a lot of people opt to use this anyway in kindergarten. So I'm just going to show you this so you kind of know where your child, or what your child will be doing the first part of kindergarten, or the first part of first grade. This book here covers the long A, but the A-I-A-Y, long E, long I, long O, long U, but not with magic E. This is other vowel pairs and other sounds like IGH for the long I, things like that. The soft C, soft G, and the 3 sounds of Y. So this is the completion. After this is done, Memorial Press considers phonics instruction complete. Everything after that they do through their spelling program, through their literature program, everything that they do after that, they consider reinforcement. They consider phonics instruction complete after this book. So this isn't, again, the only book they use for that. They also use other phonics workbooks as reinforcement, the flashcards, the classical phonics reading list. So there are multiple components, but once you finish going through this book, they do consider phonics instruction complete. So this is where you would start off the first week of first grade. This is what you would be doing. So if you are looking at this from the standpoint of, okay, I'm coming in, kindergarten's done, we've had some phonics instruction, where do I start? This is where first grade would bring you. Okay, this is where you would be at first grade. So there's a lot more dictation I noticed in Book E, where you would be having your child write down the word. So they're going to be sounding it out in their head, putting the word together in their head, and then writing it down. So that's definitely more involved, more skills at play than just tracing words or recognizing words on a page. I was actually surprised when I looked through this book at first to see some of these words. I was surprised that some people say they do this in kindergarten, because my son, I don't know, maybe he was reading these in kindergarten. I honestly don't remember, but this is scheduled, like I said, the first week of first grade. Some just choose to do it over the summer of kindergarten. Maybe he was reading this in kindergarten. I don't remember. But anyway, this is the style of Book E. They are a little more specific with their assessments in Book E, I noticed as well. I'll skip here to the end so you can kind of see where they're at the end. So you saw here the soft G sound, now the 3 sounds of Y, and this would wrap up their phonics instruction after this book. Okay, so I want to bring you to these. So these are the common words they learned in this book. These are the phonics that they covered in this book. And then the final assessment is here. Okay, so this was just to give you an idea of the student books. I didn't want to go too much into the teacher manual and the lesson plans and how we're going to use it and all of that, because I knew it would be too long. So I decided to just break this up, give this to you in chunks. So this is the first phonics, Memorial Press phonics video that I'll do. I will do another one on the lesson plans and all the other pieces, parts that can go along with this from Memorial Press, and the teacher's guide. So that will be in another video. If you would like for me to do that live again, so you can come on and ask questions, let me know. I think that it's sometimes helpful watching a review to be able to ask, when we're doing it, so I can go and show you directly the things that you want to know. But I also know that it's hard to get on, at a specific time. So Natasha is saying that is like teach your child to read. Is that okay? I've never used that, Natasha. I've never, I took it out from the library when we first started homeschooling, and I just could not wrap my brain around all those funny marks. So I just didn't even consider that one, because the funny marks threw me for a loop. I was like, is my kid supposed to draw these little symbols? I just didn't get it. So I never really kind of gave that one a whirl, but it's helpful to know if somebody's familiar with it and that works for them, that this might be something else that's comparable. Okay, I'm going to wrap up. I know there's a delay, but I don't see any more questions or comments, so I'm just going to wrap this up, and I will put another video up of the teacher guide, the lesson plans, and what we plan to do with this for our kindergarten year. Take care, everyone, and have a great weekend, and I hope that you all are staying safe and healthy, and that we all can just go back to normal soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.